chicken mousse. If you've never had it, they're like little chicken marshmallows that you can make into any shape and size. I've simplified it down to only 2 ingredients and a really easy to follow procedure. I'm gonna serve that with some butternut squash. I'm gonna show you how to get perfect grill lines on there, nice and tender all the way through, and it's literally the most foolproof, easiest technique you'll ever see. Those two things coming up next on the second episode of Diversiteats. So before anything, we want to preheat our oven to 500 degrees and put a cast iron grill pan in there, get it nice and hot. And then I want to have a butternut squash, but I want it to look clean, so I want to do one cut, and this 14-inch blade that I rarely use is gonna be put to use today. Kind of see where you want to cut it, put the blade on top, push it into the flesh a little bit, and then hand on the blade and help it through just like this. Okay, go ahead and grab a Parisian scoop or a melon baller, whichever one you want to call it, and kind of like a pumpkin, just get in there and get it nice and cleaned out. Take out all the seeds and all those strands. Put about a tablespoon of oil in there and rub it all around. This is going to help it not stick to the pan and also brown a little bit. You can put whatever seasonings you'd like, but I'm just keeping it simple. This is some pink Himalayan salt and some freshly ground black pepper. About 30 minutes later, pull out our pan. It's really hot, and drop that squash in. So a nice sizzle is what you should be hearing. Put it back in that 500 degree oven and turn it off. So my ratio for this chicken mousse is about 1 cup of heavy whipping cream to 1 pound of white meat chicken. These couple slices of chicken breast are about half a pound, so I'm gonna mix that up really well, and then I'm gonna put in a 1/4 cup of heavy cream to start. I'll mix that up and then incorporate the other 1/4 cup. So this is half a pound of chicken to half a cup of heavy cream. Don't forget to push down your sides to get everything really well incorporated. Mix it up a little more and notice the difference. It's a lot creamier now, really smooth. And what you're left with essentially is something that kind of looks like a chunky soft serve ice cream, but you definitely don't want to eat it like that. Over a mixing bowl, I'm putting this really fine mesh sieve or sifter, and I'm putting all of my mousse on top of that. We're basically going to push it through all those little tiny, really fine holes, and that's going to make it extra smooth. Make sure to clean off your blade. The best thing to use for this is probably something flexible like a silicone spatula, and then just push it through little bits at a time with a good amount of pressure. After a minute, look underneath and you can see it start to come through. It takes a little while, but it's worth it. So just keep it up, and when you're finished, doesn't look like much, but it is. Go ahead and scrape it all off. Back into the mixing bowl. Make sure to get all of it. A little sandwich bag. I'm gonna use a coupler and a piping tip. I'm gonna cut off this corner right here. Put the tip onto the coupler and those two pieces on the inside. I like the threads to be covered by the plastic, that way when I put this lock, it's a really tight seal. I'm mixing in some of that Himalayan salt and fresh pepper again, but you can put whatever seasonings you like, or even a puree of some sort to give it some color. Put that into the bag, and then we'll just set it aside after this. Pot of boiling water, a couple of skewers over the top so that they can support a bamboo sushi mat. This is Bella, by the way, and she thinks I'm cooking for her right now. Piece of parchment paper, fold it in half and then in half again, so we're quartering it. Crease it and then find your inside corner. Fold it in half diagonally, keeping that corner in place. And and then in half one more time. Kind of looks like a paper airplane now. Use our pot to kind of tell us where we want to cut it. We're making a circle platform for this bamboo mat. Cut the tip off, that way it lets steam come through. Open it up, you should have something like this. Flatten it out a little bit, and then we're gonna pipe directly onto this, just making all sorts of different sizes with this. As you can imagine, you can put other types of tips on here and make all kinds of designs, all kinds of shapes. You could probably even write your name with Mousse. You just got to be really careful transferring this parchment back onto that bamboo mat for it to all steam. I would say about 5 to 8 minutes for smaller pieces, and maybe like 10 to 15 minutes for the bigger ones. It'd be good to make extra, that way you can cut them in half and check the doneness. Very carefully slide it onto your mat, and the edges sometimes want to come up like this because of the steam, but I'm putting a bowl on top to kind of pin down the paper and keep all that steam inside. So remember, we started this in a 500-degree oven, turned it off, and just left it in there. So it's cooled down already. It's been about 45 minutes. I could have went to sleep and forgot about it. I can leave it till morning, and it's still gonna look beautiful, just like this. Easiest way to do any squash, so don't forget this little trick. I filled the cavity with some wild rice risotto, and I'll show you how to make that in another video. For now, I'm just gonna place this mousse around here, put some greenery for contrast, and in retrospect, I probably should have put something crunchy just for a textural difference, but that's okay. I really just wanted to show you this and give you some ideas, see what you can come up with these new techniques if you didn't know them already. So again, I'm on Instagram if you want to find me and my project on there under these usernames. Once again, subscribe, like, share, comment, all the usual stuff. Let me know what you think, and definitely let me know if you tried this. I would love to see what you come up with. See you next time. Thanks for watching.